Stickler. I am Barbara Stickler, and I am the room monitor for this morning. I have a couple of rules to go over. This is officers training. In order to get credit for the training, you will need to take a pop quiz at the end of the session. So please stay tuned for the entire session and ensure that you take that quiz before you leave. Additionally, there will be an evaluation survey for our presenter dropped into the chat box towards the end of the class. Just like we grow as Toastmasters when our speeches are evaluated, giving honest feedback to Gisele will help her grow as a presenter. So look for that in the chat box towards the end of the session. If you miss it, you will get an email from Lace letting you follow up with that after the session. Additionally, the chat box will be used for questions you might have, and I will be asking those throughout the session of Gisele. I'm going to go ahead with Gisele Nguyen and introduce our speaker and presentation, or presenter this morning. Gisele Nguyen is a creative catalyst with a passion for education, coaching, and Toastmasters. She is an award-winning corporate executive and consultant with 20 years of experience in sales, marketing, and global supply chain management. Gisele has earned an MBA, a Lean Six Sigma certified black belt, teacher, and a DTM. She enjoys her role as the Division A director this year with responsibilities for 22 clubs. She is a member of North Tustin Sensational Speakers, a club that has earned President's Distinguished for 14 consecutive years. Gisele is inspired by many members across Founders District and will be a lifelong Toastmaster. Today in the Advanced Presidents and Vice President Education Training, Gisele will share her insights to help you and your club achieve the highest honor in Toastmasters. Please help me welcome Gisele Nguyen.
All right, thank you so much, Barbara. I want to thank everybody for being here, and I want to welcome you to the Advanced President and VPE training. So before we get started, I wanted to introduce the team. Barbara Stickler, who just made the announcement and introduction, is a DTM and president of the Achievers. And for those who might not know, the Achievers has achieved President Distinguished for 23 or 24 years consecutively. And thank you, Barbara, for managing the chat box and gathering the questions so that we can answer all of the officers' questions later on. And I also want to take a moment to introduce Adam Brenner, who is our area director for F4 this year. He's also an advanced communicator role. I believe he's very close to the DTM, and he's also the division director next year. And thank you, Adam, for your help in ensuring that our meeting is going to flow smoothly and being our timer as well as managing the mute buttons. All right, so this training that we put together, that I put together, is for you. It's about you. It's designed for you. And I like it to be interactive because we want it to address your needs as the top leaders in your club. And you are instrumental to the success of the area, the division, and the district. So if you have questions, please put them in the chat box as we go through this presentation. And what I like to do is finish enough 10 minutes before our time is over so that we will have time to answer any questions that you may have at the end. So let's get started. First off, I want to say congratulations to the presidents and the vice presidents of education. You are about to embark on a journey of growth and self-discovery, personally and professionally. And so whether you are here because you were elected as a club officer or you were volunteered or voluntold, congratulations for leading and serving your members. So I know that many of you have already entered your club name and number. And what I'd like for you to do also, if you could, enter in the number of years that you have been with Toastmasters so that we know the tenure that we have and the years of experience that we have here. I'll give you a moment to enter that information. And while you're doing that, this picture is a picture of Zion National Park. My family and I have visited Zion National Park for the past 16 years. I take my 2 daughters there, and we've hiked over hundreds of miles around this national park. And every year we discover a new hike, a new terrain. So there's always more to learn and grow with Toastmasters. All right. We are in the people business. I think Toastmasters is about transforming people. And as many of you know, Toastmasters is in 134 countries. We have about 400,000 members across the world and about 17,000 clubs. And in Founders District, we've been around for 75 years, but Ralph Smedley has actually started the Toastmasters 20 years prior. And so we are all leading during an uncertain and unprecedented time. And in the world, there's a pandemic going on, there's civil unrest, there's political conflict, and the economy has challenges. But thank goodness for Toastmasters, right? Our members come to Toastmasters because they are in a safe place. And people come because they could communicate, they could collaborate, they could express their creativity and their critical thinking. And you are the leaders that the world needs right now because you have a role in creating the environment for people to transform themselves and become the best versions of themselves. So what is our learning objectives? By the end of this workshop, I'd like for you to walk away with a belief and an understanding that you could lead your club to achieve at least distinguish next year, if not higher. So the DCP is Toastmasters' measure of success. And there's a high correlation between a distinguished, select distinguished, and president's distinguished club to the quality of the club and the quality of the experience that the members are having. And what the DCP means, beyond just getting the award, it means that your members are receiving value and they are benefiting from the experience of being a part of your club. So we're going to cover 3 important components in your leadership role. We've already talked about the introduction and the learning objectives. We're going to talk about building a vision, what your role is in building the vision, the strategy. And we're going to go through a 4-box model that I've created just for you today that's going to help walk you through a situation analysis for your club. And then we're going to end with talking about 2 resources or tools or systems that's available for you to access data to help you achieve President's Distinguished or beyond for your club. And then we're going to review and conclude at the end. So there is a worksheet that we've created, and it could be downloaded. I don't know, Adam, if you could share the link, but this worksheet will help you document the information that we'll discuss. And you could print it, write notes during the workshop, or you could do it afterwards. It's completely up to you. But this worksheet is designed with questions to help you think through and create a vision statement, a strategy, help you utilize the tools and resources that's available. And then you could create 3 actions. We don't want a lot. We don't want to boil the ocean. We just want to really simplify it down to 1, 2, or 3 actions that you could take after this meeting and that you could bring back to your club and implement. All right. So my first poll is for everyone. And Adam, if you could send this out, that'd be great. Will your club achieve distinguish or better on June 1st? if you can share with us, I'd greatly appreciate it. And I don't know if you could see the screen and the number of responses. So we have 23 members. 83% of those who have responded, 26 members, are going to achieve distinguished this year, which is excellent, outstanding. So I'm preaching to the choir. You guys already know the magic formula. That's great. So my goal then is to just share some insights to help make the experience more seamless and simpler, because we all have a lot on our plates right now, right? And so the final total is 27 people on this in this meeting, or 82% of our members have achieved distinguished or better, which is excellent. Thank you, Adam. All right, so can you share the results with everyone? Thank you. All right. And then if you could stop sharing, please, I'd greatly appreciate it. Is there any way you could stop there? Because it's covering my slide.
It is not showing to the attendees.
Oh, it's not.
No, we're good.
Okay, all right. Hold on just one second here because it's on my, all right. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, great, great. So I just have to, all right, good deal then. All right, so everybody has a chance to see the results, which is outstanding. I'm so happy to see that. All right, so just a quick overview of your role. You know it already, but I'm just going to quickly review this because I think it's important because we might have some new members. So as president, your role is to fulfill the club's mission. And the club's mission is to provide a positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communications and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth, right? And the best way to do that is to lead by example. So as a division director this year, when I go into a club meeting, and if the president or vice president is not there, or if they start the meeting with low energy, the members could feel it. So as leaders, you have to bring it every single meeting and bring your mojo, and that is going to light up everybody in the room.
Gisele?
Yes.
Your screen is not showing the slide, but it's showing your desktop. There you go.
All right, good deal. Thank you, Barbara. All right, so you're leading a nonprofit, and this nonprofit is a legal entity. It's a 501c3, and you are responsible for the overall supervision for the operations of the club. You have an extremely important role as the CEO and COO of your club. And as a president, you preside over the meetings, you start up the meeting, and you also are responsible for pulling together the executive committee at the very, very beginning of the year. It's really important to get the team together and to get everybody on the same page. And when you discuss your vision and you talk about what your goals are for your team for that year, you're setting yourself up for success. And I can't tell you how important it is to do it at the very beginning, at the beginning of the year, and ensure that everybody buys in. And on number 5, earn distinguished club recognition. That comes straight out of the manual, of this club leadership manual. It is the responsibility of the officers to earn distinguished club recognition. And so if there is a reason why the club is not there, then let's talk about that. We'll have an opportunity to go through some of the challenges because we all have faced it, right? And we could help share ideas and share some best practices to help make it easier for everyone. And then you also lead and guide and celebrate. I think that's one thing that we don't do enough of, is to celebrate our members' achievement. Some members do that very well, but there is more opportunities to celebrate. And I think personally for my club, we need to do more celebration. Every time a member completes their level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, we want to announce that at the very beginning of the club meetings to ensure that everybody knows and applauds and acknowledges the accomplishment of that individual member. And base camp manager. Both of these roles, president and vice president, play a very important role as base camp manager because you approve the progress of the members. And of course, for the president, you can attend the district meetings and vote for the district leaders. And for the vice president, as a second ranking club officer, one of the most important responsibilities is to plan and organize the club schedule and to help the president by going through your pathways register to find out where the members are making progress and who is close, so that you could celebrate and who has achieved their level of in pathways, so that you could share that with the president and both of you could celebrate the members' achievement at every meeting. And as the VPE, you have the responsibility and the the accountability for the educational awards. And this year we have 14 goals, but typically in most years, the vice president of education can help the club achieve 6 educational awards, which is a huge deal. The VPE's work alone can help the club achieve distinguish. So as long as the members are giving speeches, you can achieve the distinguished honor and award for your club. All right. The VPE also plans the club speech, speech contest, and then manages the mentor program with the vice president of membership. And so there's a collaboration effort that's going on between the president and the vice president of education, along with all the other officers. And the learning and growth comes with the collaboration and the work of the team. And if the president is the brain of the club, the vice president of education is the heart of the club, right? And you know, if you want to use a sports analogy, if the president is the pitcher, then the vice president is the batter, right? And so you work together as a team to ensure that the members' needs are met. All right, so here's my second poll to dig a little bit deeper into understanding the challenges. If your club didn't achieve distinguish, what is the main reason why? If you could take a moment, please, and answer the poll, I'd greatly appreciate it. Is it low membership? Is it the educational goals? Is it the leadership? Is it the pandemic or other reasons? All right, we're getting the numbers in. Low membership seems to be a major driver. Can you see my screen and the poll results?
We cannot see the polls, and you are back at your desktop instead of screens.
Okay, all right. Good deal. So as soon as the poll stops, I will share the results. Whoops.
It's now up on the screen.
Okay, so the polls are up on the screen. All right, so nearly 60% of the challenges that we have is low membership, which is consistent with what the district and other clubs around the world are experiencing as well, right? And the concern that I have here is disengaged leadership and goals, but that's something that we could work on as a team right here. All right, excellent.
Can you go back to full screen?
Yes, sure. All right, share results. Does everybody see that?
Yes.
All right, excellent. Thank you. All right, so hold on. Let me just move on to the next screen. All right, so what I like to do is to share a quote from the founder of Toastmasters. And I think he says it so well. Communication leads to the discovery of hidden abilities, broadens the person's conception of how to live with people. And we need that more than ever right now in the world that we live in, right? The world that we are in. It brings out for use the leadership traits and the abilities, and thus helps to prepare the individual to be leaders. And in order to be a leader, I think one of the main communication tool that we have is we need to consistently express and articulate the benefits of being a member, right? And when we articulate and reinforce the benefits to the members on a consistent basis, especially to new members, everybody is more engaged. And I think we all know this, but it's helpful to be reminded that when we do more speeches, we're improving our public speaking skills. We're building our leadership skills. And the more we practice, we gain self-confidence and self-awareness. And when we get involved at the district level, we are expanding our network and our supportive environment. We have practice in presenting and writing speeches. And when we get feedback, we continue to grow as leaders and as individuals. And when we are involved in Toastmasters, we have a competitive advantage, not only in the workplace, but in our community and at home. And with Pathways, the new educational curriculum, we have the opportunity to learn over 300 competencies or skills like interviewing preparation, online meeting management, leadership development, project management, and conflict resolution. But I think what's really most impactful for all of us is that we enjoy the unlimited personal growth, right? We unlock our leadership potential and we unleash our courage, our passion, our connection with others in the world. And we open opportunities for career advancement. Yesterday, I had a conversation with one of my key leaders who really inspired me. And she said that since she's joined Toastmasters, she has grown so much. She found her voice, and she just received a promotion in her organization at State Fund. And just hearing how excited she is just made my day. And I truly believe that Toastmaster transforms lives, and it improves our relationships at work, in our community, and at home. So let's start with our vision. What is your vision? What is your roadmap to the future, right? And so we've covered your roles and we've covered the benefits of Toastmasters. Now I'd like you to think about the vision that you have for your club. Your vision is a declaration of your objective, and it guides you and your team on the decision-making process throughout the year. So when you come across a challenge or a decision that you have to make, right, your vision will help guide you to the right path. And it's the roadmap to the future. And I've given you two examples to the right? To inspire your members to achieve President's Distinguished by June of next year. Or you could make your vision be more personal, right? To have a positive impact on the lives of the members so that you can help them achieve their goals, right? So you could think about it and you could modify it as you go, but come up with a vision statement, and that vision statement will help guide your year. All right, so at this point, what is the club situation assessment? And this will help us identify our strategy and what you want to work on. And we always want to begin with the members in mind. Do you know how your members are feeling? Do they feel valued right now in your club? Are they achieving their personal goals? Are they giving speeches on a regular basis? Sometimes I go to my clubs and at the end of the meeting, the president would say, who's going to volunteer to speak at the next club? And there's no hands that are raised. As president and vice president, you want to encourage your members to give speeches. People should be raising up and jumping up and competing for speaking spots, right? So we want them to be engaged and we want to know how they're feeling about their club. And are your meetings effective and efficient? So the first thing we want to look at is our meetings. How are the meetings managed? Are they efficient? Are they effective? Are you starting and ending on time? And I think that says a lot about a club. When I attend and visit a club, if the club doesn't start on time or ends 10 minutes later or 15 minutes later, if it happens once, that's okay. But if it happens repeatedly, it's a sign that you're not organized, that the structure of the meeting is not tight, and then it needs to be retweaked and it needs to be refined, because time is important. And as Toastmasters, we need to be respectful of our members' time, because there's meetings and life afterwards, and we want to make sure that we end on time so that our members know that we respect that they have other things going on. Are the members having fun? Do you have an agenda that's created and sent out 24 hours in advance? And are the members, every member who attend the meeting, do they have an opportunity to speak, right? You want to make sure that everybody who attends, if they're not having a role, if they're not speaking, then we should call on them to do a table topic, right? So everybody who attends should have the opportunity to speak. Next, education, which is a critical component of the Toastmasters experience. And Pathways is now our singular educational curriculum. Now, we've had 2 years to transition. And this is the first year under your leadership that Pathways is going to be the only curriculum that is available. We have to champion it. We have to encourage our members to get registered. And I don't have a poll set up, but I'd love to know the percentage of members that you have in your club that's registered on Pathways. And everybody should respond with 100%, right? All of our members should be registered on Pathways and giving speeches on Pathways and at least finishing their first level. All right, and as a VPE, are they making progress? If they're having challenges, I had somebody call me yesterday, who was in Pathways. He selected his path, but for some reason, the projects just disappeared. And so there are technical issues. So the challenges now are a little bit different. We're all trying to figure it out. And so reach out to other presidents, reach out to other clubs or the district or your area director when you have issues. And if you need more training, there are people who are experts who spend a lot of time working on Pathways. And I promise you, if you have a question, somebody else has the answer. You just have to reach out and there will be someone to help. There's a learning lab that's available every Sunday, every second Sunday of the month. And there are people who could help during the learning lab. And in your club, you should have a Pathways mentor. If there's not one, assign somebody to be a Pathways mentor so that there is one singular person that your members could go to for help, all right? Membership. The minimum qualification for Distinguished is 20 members.
Gisele?
Yes.
Someone asked if you could expand on the Learning Lab.
The Learning Lab. Okay, great. Thank you for the question. So the Learning Lab is run by Mary Berg and Franny Stein and Charlotte Drake. They are experts in Pathways. I know that prior to the pandemic, they had the Learning Lab every second Sunday at the Methodist Church. I need to confirm that they are hosting Zoom meetings on the Learning Lab, but it's available, I know, on a monthly basis. So I'm going to take a note of that and send out an update to everybody who's in this meeting and confirm what date the Learning Lab workshops are open. And if it's not, I will run it, right? Because I think it's so important for you to have your questions answered. So I will take that as a note and get back to you on when the Learning Lab is. I know that prior to the pandemic, it was every second Sunday. All right. Does that answer your question? I hope so. I can't hear, but if I need to follow up on that, let's talk about it in the last 10 minutes, okay? All right, let's go to membership, the third component. 20 members is required to meet to qualify for Distinguish. And I know that many clubs have a challenge to meet 20 members this year, right? There are things that you could do to expand your membership. And I've asked some questions here on the left-hand side. What events have the club hosted to attract new members, right? Have members invited friends or family members to attend the meetings? So in my club, North Tustin Sensational Salesman, on a monthly basis, we encourage all of our members to bring a friend or bring a family member. And it works because that's the best way to communicate the benefits of Toastmasters is through your friends and family. And so my daughter joined this week. I'm so excited. She just graduated college and finally I convinced her to join and she's already seeing the benefits. And the last point here that Barbara, I'm going to give her credit for asking this question. Are you and your VP of PR, are you connecting with the community organizations around you? The Rotary Club, the Chamber of Commerce, you know, there are city newspapers or newsletters that are being disseminated. You know, what tools or resources that are available to your members that you haven't tapped into that you want to look into, all right? So that's how you could drive membership. And finally, the fourth component is the officers. As president and vice president of education, you play such an instrumental role in the success of your club. And if you are engaged and supportive of your members, then everybody will follow. All the other leaders within your organization, within your club, they will also follow your example. Know the individual strength of your members. Know the individual strength of your leaders. Your VP of membership, your VP of PR, your secretary, your treasurer, your sergeant of arms. Know them well. When I started as a division of director last year, I invited the officers over to my home. Not something that I did before, by the way, you know, but I hosted them because I wanted to get to know them personally. And it was a phenomenal team bonding experience. And it set the stage for our success in our work in the future. So when we came across issues and challenges, I could pick up the phone and have a conversation with them and the issue would be resolved. So set the stage at the very beginning, know your team, get them on the same page and help them achieve their personal goals, right? And then what additional training might the officers need and who could assist them? Identify those needs at the very beginning. If you have somebody who is new to the secretary role, you know, maybe have somebody who's done a secretary role in the past and have them partner up to help them in that new role, right? And at the very bottom of the screen, you see people, process, training, and systems. When I was working at Coca-Cola for 16 years as the director of my organization, those are the three areas that I focused on. The people. No matter what problems I was facing, there was always somebody who could help me solve the problem. And if you have something, a process that's broken, you want to make sure that that process, your meetings are tightened up. You want to make sure that the gaps are closed. You want to make sure that people understand what are in the agenda and be prepared with your roles. And then if there's a gap, ensure that they're trained. So you have a system in place to help the people develop a process that could stand the test of challenges. If something were to happen that goes wrong online, you can step up and help. right? So those are the four components of the membership focused value that I'd like to go through. So now is
Gisele,
yes.
I apologize. Adam has stepped out. I don't know if you can see me as your timer, but you are on yellow.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
And
Okay.
since Adam has stepped out, we have no way to put, oh, Adam looks like he is back. I was going to say I have no way to post polls for you.
All right. Oh, okay. No worries. No worries. Oh, Adam, you're back. Thank you very much. So we have another poll. What is your top priority or opportunity for your club? Whoa, membership. All right. Education, officers. That's fantastic. All right. Excellent. Thank you so much for participating. And I have to step out of the presentation mode so that I could access the poll. And I think we're very close. We have 5 more members who need to respond, 3 more members, and then I'm going to share as soon as everybody submits. All right, 2 more members. And it seems like we have an almost unanimous. Can 2 more members submit their poll response?
I believe that's the 2 of us, Gisele, since we can't vote.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Okay, so, oops, it just clipped off. Okay, so 70% of the audience said membership is their focus, and 25% said education is their focus. All right, so thank you very much. Now, what I'd like to do is to focus on strategy. All right, so great quote here that I think: leadership is the capacity to translate your vision into reality. So what are your strategies? I'm going to go through this quickly because I know that we're short on time. If you have opportunities with meeting, and not everybody, I don't think there was one person who said meeting, so I'm not going to focus on that. But if you have an interest, there's a moment of truth document out there that's very helpful. Education. Improve members' experience with a mentor program. If you don't have a mentorship program that's implemented, please work with your VP of membership to get that implemented. And we have clubs like the Achievers has a great mentorship program where as soon as a member joins, then they're paired up with a mentor, and that mentor walks them through. Everybody in your club should have a mentor. And I think it's a powerful program to retain members and to create value. Pathways training. There's a lot of training that's available. You have the learning lace, you have LACE, and I think that there's a Pathways clinic that's available this afternoon. If you're interested in improving your education on Pathways, please take advantage of the Pathways clinic. Increasing membership, we talked about it earlier. Open house, do a guest speaker, a leadership speaker series. There's some creative ideas out there. I heard about a silent auction that some clubs are putting together online. And if you want to improve officer engagement, get more training, attend the district meetings, get to know your area directors, attend the DEC meeting, and of course, the LACE training. Every officer should attend LACE training because that's how you get your officers to become engaged. All right. So that completes the 4-box model and how you can form your strategies. The district calendar are key dates that are really important to all the officers. So of course, in June 6th, you have the LACE training, which is what we're doing today. At the end of August, you have the makeup officer training. So if your officers aren't attending LACE, they're going to do the makeup training. You want to make sure that your club gets at least 4 officers trained to get credit. You have membership renewals twice, at the end of October and at the end of March. You want to make sure that you have at least 8 members signed up so that you can meet the minimum and then get to 20 as soon as possible. Host the open houses when there's a lull, right? So November, December, host an open house. And then of course there's going to be LACE in January, which will be on the 9th. I'm going to be hosting the Founders District LACE next year. So I know that it's going to be in January 9th, so please mark your calendar. And of course, we have the International Speech Contest that starts in January and ends in April. You have the club, the conference in May. You have club elections in May. And of course, that's the whole entire Toastmaster district calendar. The DCP goals are due at the end of June, so start early. All right, so here's my next poll. As a base camp manager, how many steps are required to give members, how many steps are required to give members credit for their speeches and projects? All right, this is a test of your knowledge on pathways. All right, so I am
Gisele,
going.
at the red mark.
I'm at the red mark. Okay, so I don't have you pinned, so thank you very much for letting me know. We have 32 people on answered. All right, so I'm gonna know who has the right answers here. Very close. A lot of people have the right answers. If you answered, 2 more people, 1 more person. If you answered 2, you have the correct answer. All right. So, all right. There are 2 steps that are required to, okay, hold on just 1 second here. I'm going to share the results. All right. So most everyone have the right answer. And I'm going to close the poll so that we could continue. So here's the 2-step process. There's 2 completely different databases. One is Pathways. As a base camp manager, as president, vice president, and secretary, you could go in and complete the level completion request. That's at the bottom. And you approve the members so that they can unlock the next project. And then you've got to log into Club Central, go to Submit Educational Awards, and enter that level for that member so that they could get an award. Step number 2 is what gives your club credit for the DCP goal. So both steps are absolutely critical. One is to help your members advance. Number 2 is to give your club credit. So remember that.
Can we ask a question?
Yes, absolutely.
There's really another step that a lot of people don't do or forget about. And that is that the member has to request approval.
Yes. So you're right, absolutely. So I'm assuming that the members, once they finish their project, they close it out and then they click, close and request approval, right? And so as soon as they click request approval, then an email sends out to the EVP, the Vice President of Education, and I believe the President and the Secretary also gets that same email, right? And so they are notified, and then they go into the system, into Pathways, to Base Camp to complete the request, and then they could go into Club Central. Great.
So the answer is really 3 steps.
But this is a officer training, so the officer can't do what the members need to do themselves, right? So the members need to go in and request and complete and close out their project. Make sense? All right. So let's move on. But I'm glad you made that clarification, John.
Gisele, we need to start wrapping up.
Okay. All right.
I need a couple of minutes at the end, and they need to do the poll and the survey.
Got it. All right. So how much time do we have now?
You have 6 minutes total.
Okay. All right. So I have one more poll, but I'm going to assume that everybody knows this. How many goals are required to achieve President's Distinguished? Actually, you know what? The polls take a little bit of time. I think everybody knows. I see a lot of 9s. The answer is 9, right? So we're going to close out the poll so that we could save some time. So thank you very much. And then I want to go through real quickly the 2 tools, right? So very quickly, The first tool that all the presidents and vice president of education need to be aware of is the Founders District Leadership Central dashboard. This is the view that you could access when you go into the dashboard. You see all your educational goals, you see your membership goals, and you'll know exactly where you need to be. The second tool is My Founders District. I live on this every single day. This is a fantastic tool that Dan Kozak created. If you go into club by division, you could see every club and their progress on DCP, and you could go in and get more information and insights. What's the club status? You could read the area visit reports. And you could see exactly where all the awards, what has been accomplished. This is the achievers view. So they have done an incredible job achieving 12 goals this year. And then there's 12 years worth of data that's available on the website as well. So I'm going to sum it up by saying that you are the leaders the world needs now. And you have what it takes to transform the lives of your members and the lives of your officers. What we covered today is the vision, the strategy, and the tools. You have your roadmap to success through a worksheet that I hope will be helpful to you. And when you focus on member value, you can identify your top priorities that you could work on. And then to track your progress, you could use the My Founders District or the dashboard. And I wish you the best of luck and have a distinguished year. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gisele. There is now a pop quiz on your screen that the officers must take so that you can get credit for actually having been in this session the entire time. So please take the pop quiz, submit your answer, and that will give you credit for having attended your officers training today. Adam has also dropped into the chat box a Dropbox link for the handouts and slides today. There is also in the chat box a link to the survey evaluation form for Gisele. And let's give Gisele a warm round of applause, virtually or however you choose to do that, so that
Barbara, excuse me.
Question?
Where's this quiz? All I see is every participant. This pop quiz.
Adam had it up on the screen. Adam, can you repost that?
Yep, Paul, it's currently.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So please make sure you take the pop quiz. And as I said, look in the chat box for the handouts and slides link, and as well as the evaluation link. I know Gisele would love to hear your feedback on the presentation and how she can improve since she's running LACE in January.
All right.
Just a quick reminder, there is the Pathways forum that is going on today where you can go and get help for Pathways. You can still check into the links and sign up to drop in on those. And there was a question earlier, Gisele, I didn't want to interrupt because I know you were trying to rush, about base camp and checking members' progress and actually for the goals on the membership. So it was raised that in Pathways, you as the Vice President of Education or President or Secretary can look at the progress of your members by looking at some of the reports that are there for you to see.
Yes.
And then Gisele, clarification, if you will, on the membership goal. You mentioned it was just 20, but isn't there a +5 new members?
Oh, yes, yes, absolutely. Okay, so thank you. I was rushing a bit. So let me answer the membership question first. There are, so if your club started at, say, a base of 10, right? So let's say last year, July 1st, you started off with 10 members in your club. If you gain 5 clubs, if you gain 5 members, you would have achieved the distinguished qualification, right? So it's 20 members or +5 starting from your base, right?
Thank you.
So, yes, so it's achievable at any level, right?
And that is our time today. So please welcome and thank Gisele for her time this morning.
Can we take questions?
The
I
session is officially over, so if you need to move on to next class, please do. If you
have questions, go ahead and put them in the survey, and we'll do our best to follow up with you regarding any questions that you have.
yes,
Thank you.
and I'm going to give you my email as well, or use the survey. I will respond back to any questions that are emailed to me as well. So I'm going to, if that's okay with everyone. I value your time very much, and I apologize we didn't have enough time to go through and answer questions, but I definitely want to make myself available. So here's my email. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And thank you all for being here. Have a wonderful LACE and have a great year. Thank you. Thank you, Zeta. Thank you, Martine, Jean, Kelly, Frank, Sal. Thank you, Ed Smith, Mike.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Emily, Justin, Ken,
Thank you.
Susan, Paul, Rita.
There's a club growth workshop on July 25th. What's going to help with the membership, which is #1 issue.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, Anita. Thank you, John.
Thank you so much, Gisele, for
Thank
your
you.
time.
Oh, thank
Someone-
you. Katie.
Someone had just mentioned about the membership. I presume we're going to get that email on the training for membership?
Yeah, that'll happen soon.
Okay, awesome. Looking
After
forward to
July
it.
1st.
Thank you. Did a great job. Fantastic, Gisele. That was a lot of great, impactful, powerful content.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Gisele.
And,
Wish we would have more time to hear more.
Part 2.
Yeah, part 2 to be continued.
Jenny and Albert, thank you for your dedication. Oh my goodness, our club is going to become